Now, the Toronto real estate market is broken. If you're a first-time buyer, you already know what I'm talking about. You've seen this topic covered in a couple other videos. Prices are still high. The inventory is still pretty low for the most part, except for condos. Condos are not the safe bet that they once were. And just when you think that the market might finally shift in your favor as a first-time home buyer, it doesn't. So in today's video, I want to break down why the market actually feels impossible for first-time home buyers right now. And more importantly, what smart buyers are actually doing right now to navigate this mess. Whether you're looking to buy your first home this year or next year, or even in the future, just so you can plan ahead, I want to give you guys some of the information that I've got here so I can help you kind of cut through that noise that's out there and give you some real perspective and not just some theory. So if you're at the beginning of the journey and you have no idea where to start, I have some free resources on the side here. You can click it in the pinned comment or the description box down below. So let's start with why the market actually feels so broken. In the GTA, the average home price still hovers around $1.1 million. Of course, this can vary depending on what area of the GTA you are focusing on. Incomes, they have not kept pace. If you are working on a salary, your salary has not risen the same clip that we've seen some of the housing prices go up in the last 5 years. Income to house ratios are the worst that they've been even since the peak of 2022. They're actually worse right now because of the higher interest rates. Now, interest rates, we've had 7 cuts in a row, and then we just had a pause for the first time yesterday. The monthly cost of borrowing was still really uncomfortable for a lot of these first-time home buyers. You're looking at your numbers, you own a $500,000 mortgage, you're saying to yourself, okay, $3,500 a month, plus. This doesn't make a lot of sense based on the income that I'm actually taking in. So here's the kicker. Most properties hitting the market right now, they're either overpriced, they're not move-in ready, or they're not in the location that you maybe want to be in. And that would be based on you wanting to be close to your work, close to your family, maybe some city life. So you're trying to constantly balance choice of where do I want to be? What's important to me? Is it family, friends, my workplace? Is it nightlife? What is important to you? That's one of the biggest struggles that we have as people who are looking to lock in their first property. It's trying to figure out what really makes sense with your massive mortgage payments, wanting to be close to friends, the family. It's all a lot to really think about. So let's talk about those condos. First-time home buyers, this is really what's affordable to you right now. It used to be the default point of entry for almost every first-time home buyer. But in 2025, the condo market right now, it's coming with a ton of baggage. And even though you might not be able to afford more than the condo market, it's not looking as appealing as it once was. The inventory's high. Good units, they're still hard to find. The good units are moving. Don't let the media confuse you with that. The good units are moving. But we have maintenance fees that are rising in a lot of these buildings. As they age, the maintenance fees go up, your expenses, your costs, they also go up. And many investors are trying to offload these units because guess what? You can't rent them right now, cash flowing positive. So you have to take a hit monthly. You've got your maintenance fee, you've got your property tax, you have your mortgage costs, and it just doesn't make sense for a lot of the investors right now. And buyers, they're nervous about quality because some of these buildings got shot up so fast. They obviously are also nervous about what's the resale look like in the future. If I buy a condo today and maybe I have kids in 3 years, is the condo market worse or is it better? We don't know. We don't know what the answer to that is. And long-term appreciation on a condo, I'd say it's pretty low. Your best case is it stays flat. That's kind of where my head's at on the condo market right now. You could take a gamble. You might think things are a little bit different, that the condo market might go up in value. But the way I look at it is, if you want to buy a condo, you are likely a single individual or you're a couple. You probably don't have a kid. And if you do have a kid, that condo might not suffice anymore. So it's a short-term buy for a lot of people. And we need to have that short-term buy be a little bit more affordable. So you guys are not spending 40 or 50% of your net income just to get into a condo. Now we've seen several resale condos this year sell at a loss. You've seen that in my other videos. I'll pin one of them here for you here. So some of these people, they had actually just bought in 2020 or 2021. That never used to happen. You never used to buy something and then 5 years later it's worth less, especially not in the last little while. The market's been really good to a lot of people. But right now we are seeing the market kind of trickle back in time to 2020, 2019, in some cases further back, in some cases a little bit closer to 2021 still. So the condos used to be considered safe, yes. Now they're starting to feel more like a gamble, and we may not all be gamblers. I know myself, I'm not a huge gambler. And that's going to add more stress into this whole buying equation for you. Let's be honest here. Trust is low right now in a lot of things, in our government, in the market, in potentially your job. Depending on what that job looks like, do you trust that your job is going to be secure? That's another big question for a lot of people. And after watching prices instantly just go up to the skyrocket that they did in 2022 and then fall in 2023, stabilize again over the last couple of years, buyers are kind of exhausted. I know it's exhausting for us on the real estate side of things, watching this yo-yo of trying to figure out where is this market actually going right now. It's overwhelming, and there's a lot of people that might internally just be saying, if I buy right now, am I walking into a trap? Is it going to be worth less later? Is it going to be worth more? Am I doing the right thing? So we have this fear paralysis that's happening in a lot of us, and I completely get that. That is something that's going to run through a lot of our minds in a lot of situations, not just buying a house, the biggest investment that you're ever going to buy. It could be a car, it could be just a new outfit, and you're trying to think, do I need to spend this extra $150, $200, whatever that's going to cost you? When the market feels inconsistent, we are going to get messaging from the media that's all over the place. We had a lot of people saying interest rates would go down, and they didn't go down this time around. And when you've seen friends and family lose some equity, it's not really a wonder why people are starting to feel a little bit stuck. It's not really a financial problem necessarily for everybody. A lot of it might be emotional based. Something to really consider why we're not seeing as many sales happening right now. And buyers, you very well might be able to actually afford something right now. The lifestyle and the trade-offs are probably the most brutal for you though. You're being asked to move 45 minutes away from your work, pay $3,500 a month at least for something that still might need renovations, or might be a little tiny box, and you're going to give up your space. Maybe you're going to give up a parking spot because you won't get one of those in the downtown core, and even your outdoor access. Maybe you've got a dog, maybe you got a pet. Outdoor access might be pretty important just to get into the housing game. Does that all make sense for you? For some it might, for others it definitely won't make sense. And a lot of people are saying, why don't I just rent? Renting makes more sense. And maybe you want to test out where you want to live. When the experience of buying right now doesn't feel as aspirational, people don't just pause. They just decide altogether, hey, maybe I'm just not going to be a homeowner. Maybe renting works for me. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of the time here as well. Now, here's the good news, because not all hope is lost. Some of those people that are actually taking a step back and saying, all right, maybe I don't want to be in a home ownership. Maybe I want to rent for a bit. There's still some smart strategic buying that's happening. You can see it. There's still transactions happening in the market, albeit just not as many as we've seen in the past. So what do you have to do? Like, what are these people who are transacting doing right now? They're hyper-focused. They're looking at the numbers. Do the numbers make sense? Does their monthly budget match up with what they're going to spend on this property? Are their pre-approval numbers and everything much higher than what they're going to be spending? They're going to feel more confident making that purchase knowing that their payments are going to be less. Are they looking for homes that might be distressed? Possibly. So these sellers might just be willing to get rid of them instead of renovate them. That's where you might get a really good deal. Most importantly, at least for me, is, are they buying with a long-term mindset? Are you buying with a 7 to 10-year mindset in the thoughts of, hey, in time, things will get better. I'm not going to try and time the bottom of the market, but buying something right now, it might actually make sense in 7 to 10 years, and I'm going to enjoy it with my family or with my significant other. And they're exploiting a lot of the areas that people are taking a step back from right now. Some are exploiting the areas outside the GTA that have the better value. Your Durham, your Hamilton, your Simcoe, your Brampton, if you wanted to be in Brampton right now. And they're not rushing either. They're really being patient, really taking their time, looking at a good amount of houses to figure out, hey, maybe this makes sense for me. So yes, Toronto real estate does feel broken for first-time home buyers right now. 100%. But the buyers who are succeeding are the ones who are actually taking a chance on the GTA as a whole, on the other markets. They're not trying to time everything here. They're the ones who are taking a step back, getting some more clarity on the whole situation, looking at their finances, looking at their budget, looking at all the numbers, And that's what you should be doing. If you want to get into the market, you got to really get clear with the whole situation and what makes sense for you. I got your back. If you do need some help, I'm happy to help you assist in the process. You can text me, the number here on screen. You can also get my free resources in my home buyer starter pack right here. That'll be in the pinned comment in the description box as well. I hope this video provided you with some value. And if you're interested in following the GTA real estate market, don't forget, subscribe to the channel. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate every one of you who watches these videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.